everybody. Welcome to the Patriot Show. My name is Anthony Stephen Malone, the Rogue Warrior, and I'm here with a very special friend of mine and a guest of mine on my show exclusively. I've got the CEO and founder of Malqosh Mission International. They do work in Sierra Leone with the women, children, and the amputee children of the Blood Diamonds Civil War. Without further ado, hello, Faith. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Anthony. Thank you for having me on your show.
Okay, can you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the fantastic work that you are doing over there now?
Okay, so I'm the vision carrier of this humanitarian work that we're doing in Sierra Leone called Malqosh Mission International, Malqosh Mission Foundation. And the vision was birthed in 2008, April 2008. And so we're just about to enter the 13th year of our missions, working with Blood Diamond victims, those whose limbs were cut off by war rebels in Sierra Leone. We work with not just war amputees, we also work with war rape victims, women who were gang raped, women who, went through so much imaginable things, things were done to them that even to this day, they're still traumatized. We work with widows, war orphans, those whose husbands were killed during the war, and those who lost their husbands through the, challenges that war amputees face. So the widows of war amputees also we work with. We work with war orphans, we work with children of surviving amputees, and we work with war wounded, those who, victims who were not amputated, but they were maimed, through the use of a machete. And so we have 6 categories of victims of the war that we work with. And our work is providing subventions through health. We do annual medical missions in Sierra Leone. I'm presently in Sierra Leone on our annual medical mission. This year we partnered with Dental Health International. They are a dental organization, humanitarian organization, and they were able to treat over 257 war victims in Sierra Leone in the course of 2 weeks of, doing, extractions, cleaning, and other works. And we, as an organization, Melqosh Mission, we have been able to treat over 600 war victims in Sierra Leone, providing diagnostics, consultation, and malarial, checks, diabetes checks, high blood pressure checks, and all manner of, medical checks, and then also provide free Medicare. This year, this medical mission has been a historic medical mission in a sense that war victims, for the first time since the war ended 19 years ago, they have been able to get free dental care. We deemed it fit that it's prudent, it's necessary, it's life-saving that we would, embark on medical missions in Sierra Leone, because the war victims in Sierra Leone do not have any free Medicare, and so many of them have passed away. We've lost over 80%. We just have a remnant of war victims that are alive, and we're at a race against time to save lives, to elongate lives. We know we can't stop death, but we can elongate lives through empowering war victims through health. We also provide educational sponsorship to the children of war victims, wherein we provide, school materials, school bags, uniform allowance, and the children of the war victims that are college, or I will say the young adults that are college and university, we also sponsor their educational tuition for them to be able to get, a gainful education and hopefully get a gainful employment through that. I mean, that's the only way they would be able to change the stories and get out of the rut that they are in, because majority of the war victims beg on the streets of Sierra Leone to survive. For them to even have 1 or 2 square meal, I mean, a 3 square meal is a luxury for these people. To have even 1 meal, they have to beg on the streets. And so we provide, you know, as and when we're able to provide them with food subventions. For example, during the month of, from last year, in the month of April to June, we did a nationwide distribution of bags of rice, Veronica buckets, so that they will be able to, you know, have good hygiene, for them to be, you know, keep safe, antibacterial soap, face mask. We provided that to every war victim household in Sierra Leone, and we reached every town, every district, reaching as many war victims that we could reach. And so our project has gone nationwide. We've opened up a Pandora's box last year. Yep. And so for me, I mean, being here in Sierra Leone, when everyone is shielding, but we're out in the masses, changing lives, doing good, it's such a fulfilling, you know, fulfilling assignment, a fulfilling of, there's a fulfillment that cannot be explained. I was scared getting on the plane, going through all the challenges. But when I got to Sierra Leone, it made sense why I had to come and continue the assignment. So as I'm here right now, we're doing a threefold mission. We're doing empowerment sessions for the war victims. We're also providing them with some of them, not all of them, with food subvention. We're also doing a lot of feeding. So every place that we go, we provide, do the medical mission. We're still continuing with the medical mission. And then we're also providing the educational packages for the children in the area of either tuition or educational materials. So in a nutshell, that's what we're doing as at now.
Yeah, it's been, I'm obviously personally involved. It was a great honor for me to be able to help you get medical supplies over there and use a lot of my connections over there. I was on the ground in Sierra Leone a long time ago, in the middle of the Blood Diamond Civil War. So I actually saw the war and the carnage firsthand. And you are doing a fabulous job over there. And me and a few of the other veterans, we look forward to going over there again very shortly to help you again. Okay. And I just want to make a point on this one. You've managed to get to some of the villages in the north of the country that have never had any help in the past. Even the United Nations were not able to get up that far. Can you tell my viewers a little bit about that, please?
Okay, thank you. I'm so looking forward to you partnering with us and coming to Sierra Leone. We really want to see how we could, you know, continue helping. I just want to say before I go further, just to say thank you. And I'm hoping that our partnership will yield something, you know, tangible for the war victims. Yeah. So we were able to reach war victims at Kamakue. They are at the borderline between Sierra Leone and Guinea. And so they're at the, you know, would I say tail end of the country. And as a result of how far and isolated they are, they don't have access to service. They face social exclusion in so many things. Even when amenities do come, you know, for other districts, they don't get access. Like, so the war victims in Kamakue, we were able to reach out to them, transport them to Makeni, which is at Bombaley. It's one of the districts that we have in the north. They traveled 4 hours to come to the Makeni. I think it's the third or the fourth largest city in Sierra Leone, and we were able to treat them there. We're able to give them breakfast and lunch. They set off like before 5 a.m. and they were with us by 9. So we gave them breakfast, treated them. They had their teeth down. Many of them were scared because there's a myth that people have saying that if, you know, they have extractions, they might either go blind or die or go deaf. And so many of them were so scared of even actually being seen by the dentist. So we had to do a lot of reconditioning of the mindset, just a lot of encouragement, and let them know that we're here to help them and not the otherwise. The opposite, sorry. And so it was such a joy being able to treat them, and they were so thankful. And many of them, even those in Bumbuna is another place in the north, they traveled 3 hours to come to McKinney, and we brought them all together at the same place. And it was such a beautiful thing to see that, you know, these war victims who, because of the locality of where they live, were able to benefit from what we were doing, which in many cases they normally are the forgotten. In fact, if the amputees, I would say the amputees are one of the most forgotten groups in Sierra Leone. But then those who are even in the further parts are even extremely, you know, marginalized. And so we want to change the story, we want to change the narrative. And so we're reaching out to those who have been forgotten. We're reaching out to those who help does not normally reach them. And we are to race against time to save them through health and to empower them through, you know, life skills training, empower them and their children through education. And we want to see them become not only partakers in society, but also contributors in mainstream society. We want to make them productive. So I'm looking forward to you coming to Sierra Leone. You're doing your first mission with us. Yeah. And whatever you have put together, which we're yet to receive, when you come on the ground, hopefully we'll get that done.
We will. We'll get everything squared away, get everything. We've got a lot of support here. Myself and AJ will be over there very soon. But obviously, it isn't about any individuals. It's about what we can do to help over there and helping the children over there as well. Obviously, AJ's been over there in the past as well. AJ was over there. When was it? Last January, February?
Yes, yeah. January last year. That was his first mission.
Yeah.
And so we're looking for him to come and continue the war victims at Newton and the children at Newton. I'm looking forward to having him. He was an absolute gem. And he also empowered us to empower more people. And so, you know, I'm happy that, you know, people like you, like-minded people like you and AJ are coming on board to help us to make a change and see what needs to be done. And hopefully, you know, things will happen for the war victims.
Oh, they certainly will. I'd like to take you back a little bit because my viewers are going to be interested. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your history with the country?
Okay, so I always find it difficult talking about me, but
you're great at talking to hundreds of people, and I just think people should know a little bit about you because you are an extraordinary individual.
I hear you. Okay, so I used to work for the local government in the UK, and then I started off Melqosh Mission, and when I got to a place where I knew that I needed to be able to do this full-time, volunteer my life, my service full-time for the benefit of others, I quit my job and started doing Melqosh full-time. But going backwards, as a child, I saw my father, who was a member of parliament. He was a member of parliament in the 80s in Sierra Leone. His salary as an MP went to help Cheshire Home. It's a Freetown Cheshire Home. It's a home for children with disabilities. There was another home for those the deaf that he also used to help. And so I grew up seeing my father helping. My mom is a medical doctor. And again, when she had her hospital in Sierra Leone, I saw her treat people for free, those who will come at the point of death and they don't have no money. You know, they've been ill, and because they don't have money to be able to go to hospital and they get into that critical stage, they would come and my mom would treat them, and, you know, free of charge. So I grew up, even with what I'm doing, my mom's always with me, you know, when we're doing the medical mission. So it's in my heritage to do good. It comes naturally for me. I tell people I was not in Sierra Leone when the war occurred, but because of what my father encountered during the war, he was beaten by the war rebels twice. The second time they beat him onto unconsciousness, tied him to a tree, poured kerosene over him, petrol, from top to bottom, and put a tire to his neck. Just about the time they were about to light the match to burn him alive was when the ECMO came and saved him and whisked him and airlifted him to a private hospital where he was for 3 months in coma. And we had thought they had killed him. We were told, people were telling us they had seen him being burnt. But the person that they'd actually seen was my other uncle, who was also an MP and had the same first name. And because the two of them were targeted at the same time, we had a lot of people offering condolences. We couldn't even mourn because we did not know if he was alive or dead. And then not knowing where his remains are, the touch of not knowing what was happening at the time when there was war, and, you know, even being able to reach people, everything was just in chaos. People were running for their lives, fleeing the country. And so whilst I was not in Sierra Leone, I know the personal torments that we went through during the war. We had our homes, our properties looted. You know, my dad, even one or two of the houses that we have in Sierra Leone, you could still see to this day bullet holes from the, you know, when the war rebels were having their party, their spree, you know, their drunken spree, and they were just shooting, you know, around the house. And so I came to Sierra Leone in 2001. I left Sierra Leone as a teenager, and when I returned, because my dad had been having repetitive heart attacks. Right. And so when I came to visit him, because I was told if I do not come, I may not ever see him alive. So I came towards the ending of the war when we're still having like lockdown and curfew, and, you know, it still wasn't safe 100%, but moderately safe enough to come. And when I came to the airport at Lunge Airport, I was looking for my father, and I did not see my father. And somebody said, "Here is your dad." And I did not recognize him. Mm. He was half the man I left. The war had killed him, even though he was walking, breathing, but he was a walking dead. And 2002, 2003, he was ill. And 2004, 2 years after the war officially ended in Sierra Leone, my father passed away. And so what I'm doing is, one, having to know how war can destroy lives, war can damage, you know, lives, not structural damage, but the societal damage in Sierra Leone. So every time I used to come, I used to say, I want to come back and do good. So when my father died in 2004, the November was when I got the burden to, you know, commence Melqosh. And it took me 4 years to pluck up the courage to come to Sierra Leone. And I came in April and started the mission April 6, 2008. And now we've gone nationwide, and the rest is history.
It is. You've certainly done some incredible things over there. It's inspiring to see, which is why I wanted to get you on our show, because you started off with a little idea and you've grown it to help so many people over there. In a few weeks' time, it's a special anniversary as well, isn't it?
We have our independence coming.
Yeah.
Sierra Leone 60th independence, but that's in April.
Right, April. Okay. Well, hopefully a lot of us will be coming over there as well anyway. Can you tell us a little bit about the education that you're doing with the children as well?
Okay, so prior to the free and quality education that Sierra Leone now has under the new government, we were paying school fees for children from nursery to university. Yeah. And so since 2019, in 2018, the free and quality education was rolled out to the children of Sierra Leone, but unfortunately, our children, the war victims, were institutionally discriminated because they were in private schools, not because they want to be in private schools, but it's what's within the locality of where they live, because they live in resettlement camps, resettlement homes where there are no government schools. And the government's project was, at the first phase, was only for children that are in government schools. So as a result, our children did not receive the free education, but I came to Sierra Leone, advocated, nothing really happened, but we were able to get a sponsor who helped us to pay school fees for the children in Freetown. But prior to that, since 2008, we've been paying school fees for children of the war victims.
Yeah.
And sorry about that. We also provide educational scholarships for children of the war victims. That's what we're doing now. And then the children that are in nursery to secondary school, now that they have been able, after much advocacy, they've been assimilated. So we're not paying school fees for them, but what we're doing, even with the free education, the children of the war victims are very marginalized. They don't have shoes to go to school. Some of them either go barefoot or have slippers. So we provide them with shoes, socks, uniform, you name it, everything a child needs to go to school. Because even with the free education, if they don't have pens and books, they don't have uniforms to go to school, how can they go to school? Even if they were to go in plain clothes, the stigma that is attached, because already the children, because of the household composition that they live in, it's very, very challenging for them. And we want them to feel, as though they're equal to their peers. So we make provisions for these children. We're in the process of building a school. We have a sponsor that has been helping us build a school for the last 2 years, and hopefully this year the school will be completed, where we would be able to provide supplementary education for the children. Now, 95% of the children in Sierra Leone failed the exams to go into university. It's a nationwide problem that we have in Sierra Leone. And so we are keen into seeing how we could provide a competitive edge of educational opportunities for these children, provide greater learning outcomes for them so that they could do well in school and go into further education, and gain degrees, and then be able to get jobs, or even trade, if some of them want to go into trade, so that they can get themselves from the rot. Because many of them are, as much as I don't like to say that, but they're the bottom pile of the social strata. And if care is not taken, these children would continue to stay in this underclass for as long as they're being marginalized and no amenities is coming to them. Sierra Leone has a Truth and Reconciliation recommendation that was made that every child of war victims should get free education. Yeah. The war victims should get free health pension, free health care, pension, be given a life of dignity. Every diamond that is found, that is mined in Sierra Leone, a percentage should be put towards the war trust that would enable them to be able to receive reparations. We have none of that. It is just talk and nothing in principle. Nothing has been implemented. Last year, World Bank gave over $3 million, about $30 million to help war victims, to help vulnerable groups, and to help those, like, for example, people with disabilities, people who are begging on the streets, vulnerable groups, mentally incapacitated people, individuals. The war victims did not receive the package. They were registered, nothing has come through. So, funds have been given to the government of Sierra Leone, but they're not just reaching the war victims. It's like there's just this blanket of hopelessness around them. Many of them feel, dejected, ejected, abandoned, forgotten. And, even when hope, is given, and then they turn out in the end that the hope doesn't come. The Bible says hope deferred makes the heart sick. So you see a lot of sickness, they're disillusioned. It's like we're raping them once more by telling them help will come, and then nothing comes. And especially right now during this COVID time, there's an economical challenge worldwide. And in Sierra Leone, the war victims are even worse. As I'm speaking with you yesterday, food prices have gone up. From last week, petrol prices have gone up. The standard of living is ridiculously expensive. And the war victims have no help, nothing, no reparation, nothing, except they go and, and abase themselves as beggars so that they can eat. And we want to see how, through our mission, we can give them a life of dignity. That's my dream. And we want to reach, we've gone nationwide. So everything we're doing is nationwide. We've done about 5 towns in the medical mission. We're planning to go to all 16 districts in Sierra Leone, which is it's about 21 to 22 towns where we have war victims. And so it's a huge undertaking where we've taken on board, and we're hoping that as global citizens, you and your friends will be able to help us to make bigger changes. We're hoping we're doing the medical mission. There's still need, and so AJ was able to raise something like $700 £700 on Facebook, which went towards our medical mission. Thankfully, we had other people who came on board. If like I know you're coming to Sierra Leone, whatever you're raising now could go towards continuing with the project. We spent thousands of dollars in just 1 month, trying to, procuring medicines from America, from Sierra Leone, from Nigeria, from the UK, which we, have been using to treat the war victims. And there's so much to do. We have thousands of war victims in Sierra Leone, and every life matters to me and to Melqosh Mission.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to getting over there. The veteran community, people I know are wanting to come over there. Some of them this afternoon, they knew I was going to be speaking to you in an interview. They are wanting to, as soon as the COVID situation changes in the UK, they have offered to come out themselves and help you rebuild the actual school as well. So you have a lot of support here. Former Royal Engineers and members of the British Army have actually offered. So we are trying to get it all together and get over there. I know that you were meant to be in England, but you've because of COVID, you've had the opportunity to actually stay over there for the time being. I think that was brilliant because you're able to help and do so much more over there than being in England. Right, Faith, I could talk to you for hours and hours, which I will do after this anyway. But I would like to say thank you so much for coming on the show. And if anyone's got any questions about Faith, the work she's doing over there, Malqosh Mission Foundation International, just send me a message. There will be a very special video at the end of this about Faith and her work she's doing over there and the team of Melqosh as well. So please stay tuned and watch that at the end. Faith, thank you so much again. And I look forward to having you on the show in the near future, maybe being broadcast from Africa. Okay, you take care. I'll speak to you later. Goodbye, everybody. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anthony Stephen Malone, patron of Malqosh Mission Foundation in Sierra Leone. Our mission is to help the children and the rape victims of the Blood Diamond Civil War in Sierra Leone. I was on the ground during the Civil War and witnessed the brutality and carnage firsthand. Now I use my contacts to help the people and the children of Sierra Leone. I'm now handing you over to AJ Roberts, Executive Patron. Thank you for your time.
My name is AJ Roberts and I'm an Executive Patron of Melqosh Mission International, an amazing charity that does loads of work for the amputees, the rape victims and their children from the Blood Diamond Civil War in Sierra Leone. In January last year, I was fortunate enough to travel to Sierra Leone and witness firsthand the devastation that the war has left on so many people that has gone totally unnoticed throughout the globe. Over the next few years and beyond, it's my mission to help Melqosh Mission International and drive their mission to help as many amputees, rape victims and their children get back on their feet and improve their lives as best possible. We want to do this with your help. Please help us help them. Thank you.
What does Leonardo DiCaprio, Nicolas Cage, Kanye West, and hundreds of thousands of amputees in Sierra Leone have in common? The Blood Diamonds. The year is 1999, and the devastating Sierra Leonean Civil War is at its raging peak. The RUF rebels enter the capital city of Freetown and indiscriminately rape, maim, murder women, children and men of all tribes. 20 years on from January 1999, Malqosh Mission is returning to Freetown in search of the Blood Diamond victims. Where are they now?
We are at the Malqosh amputee camp where we are sponsoring the children of war victims, the war wounded, and the war amputees with their school supplies and clothing fees for the year. These are the war victims at the camp, and we are here to support them and their children so that they can have a better future, and is so incredibly important to bring awareness to a group of people who have been neglected and forgotten and have suffered needlessly over the years. And we are very excited to be able to be here with them today to support them and to support their families.
I tell them, I'm going to thank you. They're going to help me, God make them succeed. They're going to give them good way. Now, I didn't say, but I'm going to go big. I can't be school fees on picking them. But now, what are they helping us small? Say what thank you. Then about one they help me. Say what thank you. They pray for them. They're going to give them long life and body. Then they help more and more for picking and school fees.
I had wanted to come to Sierra Leone from the time that I was in graduate school. I did a tour through different Holocaust sites in Europe in graduate school. I also went to Cambodia and did an independent research study on the genocide there. And something just struck me about what happened here in Sierra Leone and the brutality of all of it. And since then, I wanted to come to this country. I wanted to see the people and I wanted to work and give back. I just didn't know what that would look like. I didn't know who I would come with or what I would do or how I would get here. But here we are today, now more than 10 years later.
Thank you for having me here today, and very excited to be able to give you some help for this school year. And these bags came 5,000 miles, and when I look at all of you, it was worth bringing them across the ocean to be able to help. And thank you. Thank you for having me.
I think that if you are a human and you have a heart, that what these people have experienced is there's nothing worse. There's just nothing worse than what many of these people have experienced. And wherever you are, living in the Western world or a first world country, no matter what your situation is, you can still afford to give. I think part of it is shifting the mindset, not only from thinking, oh, I have to give a lot to have any impact, but also that you don't have enough yourself. Because I promise, if you can afford to live in a first world country, you can afford to give in a way that is maybe seemingly small, but extremely impactful. I'm the kind of person who I love to give to those who are suffering. So my initial inclination was to give more to the amputees and to the wounded and rape victims. But now I have a better understanding of why we are so focused on education, because of how that investment impacts the entire family and the entire community for many years to come. This is a population of people that the majority of the world doesn't know exists. I would argue that many Americans, Westerners in general, don't know that Sierra Leone is a country in West Africa. And so there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of education to be done. But these people matter. They feel and think just like the rest of you and I. They feel pain, they feel joy, they feel love. And anyone who has a heart for humanity should definitely consider being involved in what we are doing here in this country. And I can vouch with 100% certainty that all of the money that is donated to Malqosh Mission International goes directly to the people. I'm watching it happen in real time. We're exchanging dollars and donations for Leones, and we are handing out every last one of them and putting those to good use. So 100%. And I don't know that I've ever heard of another organization that does that.
Can you never stand before?